A Coruña is a port city on the northwest part of Spain, in Galicia. The city is known as the Crystal City because of these old timber and glass winter gardens. And we were really fascinated by, just their lightness, their delicacy, their transparency. And what we were seeking to do was almost using modern materials and technology to pick up that type of luminosity.
Caixa Galicia were a big savings bank in the region at the time, and they wanted a headquarters for their charitable foundation that had a big art collection and lots of programs, education programs for kids. What's very interesting about the site is the difference between the front and the back. On one side, it's one of the most prestigious addresses in that city, and buildings tend to be institutions and banks.
So the front facade responds in height to the adjacent cornice line, 10 stories high. But to the rear of the building, it needs to then come rapidly down in scale to meet the intimate quality of that part of the city.
In section, the building translates those two frontages that are so different in one move that resembles a sort of wave, out at sea.
We actually thought it'd be wonderful to try and welcome the general public, whether they were using the gallery or not. We pushed the city through the building. So the city uses the building simply as part of its urban fabric.
Providing a shortcut became a powerful move in what might otherwise be a sort of elitist institution. We wanted the internal street to be open to the sky, so the whole building has this chasm cut through it. Going up the building, every level has its own gallery space. Our buildings are very precise in the requirements for viewing art, and yet they have to, lift the spirit.
Art is asking for great serenity. It's asking for sophistication and timelessness.
Doing an art gallery does lead you to trying to do something beautiful because you're housing beautiful things in theory, and you like to reflect that feeling of the excitement of creativity.
You really get this richness and variety of space, light, texture. I often say this is our first tower. It's actually 16 stories when you count them all. It just so happens that many of them are below ground. The reverse incline of the main facade is very much about making sure that we could draw natural light into the basement areas and floodlight the foyers, which provide the entrance into the auditorium. The 300-seat auditorium needed to be able to deal with small recitals, as well as cinema, readings, poetry, a whole range.
As an added attraction for people, the building has 2 elevators on the facade. As you rise, you feel like you're floating in space.
In the daytime, the building looks and feels as if it is in fact made of stone. It has a true permanent and civic quality. But at night time, the stone starts to glow. We used an innovation to demonstrate, I suppose, this idea that the inside and the outside should talk to each other in a way that art galleries almost never let happen.